Breaking right now, Prince William and his team at Kensington Palace are furious that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have attempted to jump the king into peace talks and at the same time prove some sort of division between the king and his eldest son, the heir to the throne, which had been so strong in recent weeks. Now, you may know my reporting on these peace talks, which I am convinced, for a whole load of reasons, was leaked by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to a specific reporter via Prince Harry's friends at the Mail on Sunday called Charlotte Griffiths. She is the editor-at-large. She has spent months and months trying to rehabilitate Prince Harry's image in Britain's biggest selling newspaper. I don't think it's working, but she has tried to do it. And even today, she has revealed that is in sort of the new part of his ludicrous campaign to convince us, oh yeah, we really should like Prince Harry again. He's just arrived in Angola to cash in on all of the peace talk publicity by walking across those landmine fields like Princess Diana did all of those decades ago. The slight issue, of course, Harry's already pulled this trick once. We're not suck it again. And I actually think it's pretty sick using the poor folk in Angola as some sort of publicity stunt. Get some new ideas, Harry. But look, reporting from Matt Wilkinson, the royal editor of The Sun newspaper, about how Prince William really feels is fascinating. Remember, The Sun is very, very closely aligned to Kensington Palace. Can you believe that more than half of you are watching this video but not subscribed? So please do me a huge favor. Click the subscribe button now. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to all of our brand new Outspoken videos. And he writes that this peace summit is really an attempt to force a wedge between Charles and William. And I completely agree. So let me take you through this. Matt Wilkinson writes, while offers were made and invites accepted between Montecito and Buckingham Palace, there was not a seat at the Members' Club balcony for anyone from Team William. Worse still, they had not even been invited. Harry has made it clear he wants to bond with his father again, but no offers are made to William. The Sussexes appear to be offering the hand of friendship, but are they actually trying to force a wedge between the king and the future king? If they can get the king on side, then they can isolate William. Divide and rule. William is right to stick to his guns, as he is in a better headspace now, is no longer seething and has moved on, but is still waiting for Harry to apologise. While Harry loves bombs, his father, who has not locked the door or thrown away the key to reconciliation, let's not forget it has been his older brother, who has consistently made big gestures. It was William who kindly took him and Kate out of the royal procession at Harry and Meghan's final royal engagement, the 2020 Commonwealth Day ceremony, after learning the Sussexes had also been removed. It was William who stood shoulder to shoulder with Harry to unveil a statue of Princess Diana at Kensington Palace less than 3 months after that Oprah Winfrey interview. It was William who agreed to wear a mourning suit at Prince Philip's funeral instead of military uniform to spare Harry's blushes. It was William who invited Harry and Meghan to join him and Kate to look at flowers left in Windsor for Queen Elizabeth II after her death in a show of unity. And it has never been William who has publicly trashed his family. The King and Prince William should hopefully see through any attempt to divide them, and they must stick together. Royal happy families cannot happen if Harry tries to cut off his father from his brother, and next time a bottle is handed over as a gift, we hope it's cordial. To my superstar panel, Neil Hamilton and Christine Hamilton. Now, Christine, I totally understand why Prince William would be furious about this, because not only was his team not invited to these peace talk summits, since the news leaked in the Mail on Sunday, I believe via the Sussexes, they're not even trying to hide that they're briefing the media, Christine. Over the past 24 hours, we've had these articles appear in People magazine and Vanity Fair, you know, all of their favourite publications where they get the propagandists writing what they want people to think about them, even though it's not true, saying, oh, you know, Harry organised this and he's coming back into the royal fold. And you can just see William sitting there thinking, I told you so, Dad. I told you so, Papa. You cannot trust these two, because every single time, Christine, it turns into a circus, and it's all down to them. So I think William, whose approach is exile, right? Like some people might think that's hard, but his view is no, it worked for the Duke of Windsor and it worked for Wallace Simpson. And I think he is completely right. And, you know, I've criticized the king a couple of times in the past week. I don't like doing that as a royalist or a monarchist, but I really do feel Charles has made a strategic error here by being sucked in yet again to the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle PR melodrama. Am I wrong?
Absolutely not. No. The biggest giveaway, I mean, I'm not an insider, but the biggest giveaway was obvious for anybody to see. If you're having a secret meeting, you make sure it's secret. And it's the easiest thing in the world for the royals to keep something secret. They have got endless houses, palaces, God knows what, where they can meet, their teams can meet. And yet they chose to meet on a balcony in the open air where people could see them sitting there. You know, these aides are not exactly unknown to key watchers, royal watchers. They know who they are. They will have seen them going into, I can't remember, it was some London club.
Yeah, just
And
around from Clarence House. Exactly. But why sit
they
outside?
sit on the balcony. I
Yeah.
mean, what? It's absolutely obvious that the whole thing was a complete setup job. And the idea that the king set it up, of course, is absolute rubbish. Of
Rubbish,
course,
because he has no track record of doing
no.
that.
And Harry, to me, I mean, he's running out of steam. I mean, to recreate that walking through the minefield thing, it just shows how pathetic. But you know, what else have they got to sell any longer? I suppose they can go on churning out the odd book as the time goes by. But you know, I don't think Harry has ever recovered from being the spare. I think he's desperately jealous of William. And, you know, as far as he looks at it, William's got it made, William this, William that, William the other. But as you say, William is the one who has worked really hard to try and get the family back together. And this is how he is repaid. It's absolutely shocking. I never want Harry, frankly, or Meghan ever to set foot in this country again. I've had them up to here. They are selfish beyond belief. And I think they should just go on being selfish in the Montecito sunshine, but not in the
Totally.
rain.
I totally agree because Neil Hamilton, the problem is Charles now, even by opening the door this tiny amount, has given Harry and Meghan exactly what they want, which is they want proximity to the royal family. They want to be able to pretend to all of the people who they're trying to make money from, right? We're back in the fold. We're going to be back. You know, it's just awful that Charles has given them this opportunity. I don't feel they deserve it. Do you?
No, certainly not. And let's remember that the mainspring of the Sussex business is their attempt to monetize the royal family. That's why the late Queen, of course, cut them off effectively because they were told to choose. You can either be a working royal or else you're out. And so they lose their HRHs and all the rest of it. But to treat the tacky and trashy attitude of how can we make tourist tat out of the royal family in every respect is really a fundamental betrayal of everything that the monarchy stands for. And of course, the king naturally wants peace in his own family and will bend over backwards to try to achieve it. But you really have to ask yourself, how many times does he have to be betrayed by the ginger whinger and his ghastly twiglet wife? Because they are not just a disgrace to themselves, but fundamentally have betrayed the institution which has given them everything they've got. So
Totally. Couldn't agree
Montecito is
more.
not far enough away
But
in my opinion.
But Christine, there is a rehabilitation campaign going on, right? And it's been led by Charlotte Griffiths, but the Mail is getting on board with this. Now, I have my suspicions about why, because remember, there is this lawsuit going on, which involves Harry and Doreen Lawrence and Elton John, and the Mail so desperately wants it to go away. And so I think they have softened their coverage towards Harry and Meghan, but I feel they're so out of step. So, for example, this column from A.N. Wilson, which was paired with the big revelation, and I just really didn't like the tone of it, Christine. William and Kate would probably be glad to never see Harry and Meghan again, but this is why they must make peace with the Sussexes and the disastrous consequences I foresee if they don't. Now, I'm sorry, Christine, I see absolutely no reason why Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, should be forced into any type of reconciliation. Like, can we just remember? So Meghan accused Catherine of being the royal racist alongside King Charles. It was then leaked via the Omid Scobie book. Obviously, it was a piece of rubbish, but that is what they did. Harry accused William of being a bully and physically beating him up in his autobiography Spare. They also leaked in that book private messages sent between Catherine and Meghan Markle to try and present Catherine as some sort of cold bitch. I'm sorry, why on earth should they forgive Harry and Meghan after all of that?
No, well, I completely agree. I mean, we're incredibly lucky in this country. We had the late Queen, who was just impeccable in every single way, and we all got so used to her leading the country. We then now have Prince Charles, who, to my mind, is amply stepping up into her shoes. He's doing his own thing in his own way. Yes, he's made the odd mistake. I mean, we don't have irregular immigration, we have illegal immigration, and please just say so. But, Starmer told him to say that. What can he do? But we have in William and Catherine and those three gorgeous children, we have a fabulous royal family in the making, senior royal family, top of the tree, when the time comes. I hope it's not soon. But we don't need Harry. We don't need Meghan. That's their problem. We simply don't need them. They are desperate to remain relevant, but they could not be more irrelevant. They're nothing. They have chosen to step away, and God knows why people go on supporting them after the way they've behaved. And you gave that list of the way William has bent over backwards to try and repair things. But, the things that Harry and Meghan have said, either directly or indirectly, about his wife, Catherine, are absolutely appalling, and his loyalty is obviously to his wife, not to his absolutely horrendously ghastly little brother.
Totally. And didn't we just see at Wimbledon over the weekend, Neil, the future of the royal family? It's lovely, isn't it, seeing Prince George and Princess Charlotte develop into a force of their own. And I know they're still very young, but William and Catherine are just exposing them in the right way. Some key events like the Wimbledon final that they would enjoy. But I do think there's an underlying message in all of this. It's like, we're back. Yes, we had to take some time away while Catherine was undergoing her cancer treatment, but we're back. We're a strong family. And I loved this from Megyn Kelly, by the way, who just said this is killing the wannabes in Montecito. And she's right, isn't she, Neil? Because actually they have to do all of these ludicrous stunts, like, oh my goodness, the twerking thing.
God, that was awful. No, please don't show a rerun of that.
Oh, come on, we've got to. We've got to. But you know what I mean, right? And then you have this lovely English family, Neil, and they're everything that's right about the future of the monarchy. But first, as I've entered my 40s, aging has become ever present in my life. My body doesn't back up the way it used to, and I've found that it's far easier to get injured when trying to work out, far harder to recover too. But I believe one of the best aging breakthroughs of the last decade is qualia senolytic. And I'm going to explain why. Senolytics are a science field revolutionizing human aging. A big culprit behind that middle-aged feeling can be so-called zombie cells that linger in your body after their useful function, wasting your energy and resources. Now, those zombie cells can lead to less energy, slower workout recovery, joint discomfort, and basically feeling old. Now, qualia senolytic is a groundbreaking, clinically tested supplement with 9 vegan plant-derived compounds that help your body naturally eliminate these zombie cells, helping you feel years younger in just months. But here's what I absolutely love about this product. You take it just 2 days a month, helping your body naturally eliminate zombie cells to age better at the cellular level. Now, since taking qualia senolytic, I've felt like I've turned back the clock. I have higher energy, less soreness after exercise, and a big boost in productivity too. That all equals feeling so much better. So experience the science of feeling younger by going to qualialife.com/Dan for up to 50% off your purchase. Use the code DAN, that's DAN, for an additional 15%. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan for an extra 15% off your purchase. Your older self will thank you. And by the way, thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get back to it.
Of course, you're absolutely right. The monarchy is being refashioned for a new generation. And the monarchy has been very good, actually, at keeping itself relevant and connected to the vast majority of people in this country. It's not easy when you're that rarefied in the royal family. When George the Fifth really brought the royal family into the 20th century, and George the Sixth and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother in particular, as well, made slight changes and nuances, which also made it an enduringly popular institution of this country. More than any other country in the world, we've maintained this ancient institution, which ought, in theory, to have no popular support at all. But nevertheless, it's a defining feature of being British, going back to what is British culture. The monarchy is a living embodiment of 1,000 years and more of British history. It's a human connecting link with past generations. And Prince William and Catherine are doing the business in order to carry on that great tradition. Whereas, I'm afraid that the Ginger Whinger and the Twiglet are just turning themselves into the kind of irrelevance that somebody like Ed Davey is doing with all these ridiculous stunts. So, as a form of entertainment, I'm afraid that it's just one big yawn to me. And I'm sure that there are millions and millions of people who agree with me. If we never see them again, it'll be too soon.
Yes, well, here's Lady Colin Campbell's take on this. I always respect what she has to say because she does it in her own brilliant language. She posted on X, if only the King's communication secretary were as wily as Harry and Meghan and their people are trying to make out, then all monarchists could breathe a sigh of relief in the knowledge that a much-needed Talleyrand has finally emerged. Sadly, such optimism is misplaced. Clever Meghan and her manoeuvres, which she always seems to think are opaque, when in fact they are as transparent and freshly clean glass, have yet again been much in evidence since last week. No one plays persecutor as victim better than Megsy Baby and her sidekick Harold of Blue Todger fame. But she should read her history books if she wants to be a truly effective manipulator and learn from Talleyrand how to effectively shove unwanted monarchs off a throne when the moment presents itself, the way it did when Napoleon lost the Battle of Paris in 1814 and his wily foreign minister ensured the demise of the Bonaparte dynasty by giving the young Empress Marie-Louise advice that ensured that Napoleon's chances of saving the throne for both himself and their son and heir would be destroyed, while also destroying their until then successful marriage. So, Christine Hamilton, the translation there is, we know what you're doing, Meghan, and you think you're clever, but you're not, because we can see through this. And once bitten, twice shy, because I think King Charles's team, and hopefully King Charles himself now, will be far, far more conscious before agreeing to any type of reconciliation, peace talks with Harry again. They know it's going to end up in the pages of Vanity Fair and People magazine.
Well, I really hope they've learnt their lesson. I mean, I was astonished when I heard about it. I mean, how can his team be so gullible, honestly? How can they be? And they've been so strong up until now, refusing to meet Harry, refusing to let him do this. There was some huge event when he did come over. I can't remember what it was, to be honest. Was it the coronation? And
Yes.
He wasn't allowed back to Buckingham Palace because they knew that anything that went on there would be leaked, etc., etc. And I really thought they'd learnt their lesson, but they seem to have let their guard down. And on this occasion, let's just hope it's the last. I mean, King Charles, if I was him, I would just, of course, it's very sad, and of course, I'm talking about him as just a perfectly ghastly human being, Harry, that is. The king talks and thinks about him as his long lost son, and that's totally different. But I mean, to trick him in this way is just beyond the pale.
Well, yes, indeed, especially given, by the way, the only reason this even came about, Neil, was, do you remember that BBC interview? In fact, let's just take a look at the moment where Harry decided to reveal this.
I don't know how much longer my father has.
Oh God!
He won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile.
So effectively, Neil Hamilton, Harry decided to reveal to the world the fact that he thinks his father is dying, which is not what King Charles wants people to think. He has incurable cancer, but incurable cancer doesn't have to be an imminent death sentence. And of course, Neil, you know how politics works, and Charles is a political player. He doesn't want to be seen as a lame duck so early in his reign. He is hoping to reign for a number more years.
Yeah, and I think he has behaved heroically over this cancer diagnosis. He's fulfilled his duties as monarch as fully as he possibly can, and he's been very public about it, which has been a great source of comfort to many cancer sufferers in a dignified way. Prince Harry, I mean, he just seems to have a kind of death wish. He says that he wants something to happen, and then the very act of saying what he does destroys any chance of success. And the king ought to know by now that if you hold out your hand to feed Prince Harry, he'll bite it off. And I'm afraid it's some kind of congenital or sociopathic element in his character. And so I'm afraid he's made his bed and he has to lie in it. It's all very unfortunate. Many families have similar kinds of problems, of course. And the top family in the realm is no stranger to this kind of thing either. But I really can't understand how time after time Harry can keep on treading on metaphorical landmines and blowing himself up.
Christine and Neil Hamilton, my superstar panel. Love having you both on Outspoken so much, and we will speak very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way,
My pleasure.
has Prince Harry been named today's Union Jackass? I will reveal the results in just one moment. But first, lots of comments coming in from you on the big news of the day, this 24,000 Afghan invasion. Tracy Lloyd writes, what about our own veterans who are living on the streets? So another reason they are building homes for that lot. Matt Spurs said there's no way 24,000 Afghans work for the British Army to translate, which is of course true. From Paulo, look over here, boats. Meanwhile, they've been flying hundreds of thousands in. There's well over 80 million in the UK now. Kath Lissington says, I had to get out 5 years ago whilst I could still afford it. I saw this coming. My kids laughed at me. They are not laughing now. And Helen O.D. says, does Nigel Farage think restating the migration catastrophe is a substitute for solving it? Everyone is bored and infuriated listening to people saying how bad it is. We know. Solutions, please. And on the royals, Oponion says Harry needs to stop copying Diana, Princess Diana, and leave that to his wife. And Becca Stephanie Thornquist says, through all this mess, William and Catherine have held their heads high and they bring pride to the country and the world. So, time to reveal today's greatest Britain and Union Jackass. Now, a reminder of the Union Jackass nominees. Rosie O'Donnell, put forward by Arts and Culture on X for blaming the Texas young girls drowning on Donald Trump. She said that's despicable. Prince Harry, nominated by Darren Donaldson for so obviously leaking the reconciliation meeting. And Jane Delves, nominated by Mother Clanger, the head of Bilton School, for sending Courtney Wright home for wearing her Union Jack dress. With 12% of the vote, Rosie O'Donnell, the runner-up with 24% of the vote, Prince Harry. But today's Union Jackass, that anti-Union Jack head teacher, Jane Delves. And on a very similar theme, and this is just so brilliant. Today's greatest Britain, nominated by Yvette Henson, it is Courtney White, the 12-year-old schoolgirl who wore a Union flag dress to school on Culture Day and was punished for it. Thank you so much for all of your nominations. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.